on another segment of testimony. As you may have known, we haven't done taping this in my life. We've been very Ohio Organizing Collaborative have kept me quite busy these past few weeks, few months, and I'm just so thankful to know that we have. So I pray that everyone has already registered and we're geared up, ready to do what we need to do on February 8th. If you're not, there's no time to register for the next election, unfortunately, for this election. But we have with us today Marilyn Hickland. She is the president of A. Philip Institute. And myself, I'm learning a whole lot about what that institute does, who they are, and she's going to talk to us today about how we can get involved in it and that we all need to cast our votes in. Of course, I want to tell you that you vote. Praise. And before we start, I'm going to introduce to you again, president of A. Philip Institute. And I pray you guys will. I'm excited to have her here. Thank you for being here, Ms. Hickland.
Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it. As she said, my name is Marilyn Hickland. I'm the president of the Hickland Institute chapter. We, those that don't know, like we focus primarily on getting out to vote, voter registration in areas that have been disenfranchised and discouraged from the legislative system. We're not partisan, so we don't tell you whether to vote Democrat or Republican. We just tell you to make sure you research your candidates and make sure that those candidates have the ability, or as what they say, as what they're saying on the platform, that it fits your life and the things that matter to you the most. And I know in the community, a lot of people, and I hear a lot of people say that their vote doesn't matter, doesn't count because they're discouraged from it. And I always tell people all the time that there's a reason why there was, at one point, we were unable to vote. At one point, the only people that could vote were white, rich landowners. And so they excluded a lot of people in the urban area. They excluded most from voting so that they could make the decisions based on what works for them. May of 2018, we definitely are trying to build momentum, definitely trying to build fruit to make sure that we can service areas that we need to with more membership. Well, let me say this. I think I left this out. The A. Philip Randolph is affiliated with APR. I'm sorry. The A. Philip Randolph is affiliated with ALCIO. And so definitely, like, we created, this is created through labor, because those of you that know that the labor movement was powerful during the civil rights movement. When people talk I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous. Talk about Washington. A lot of people understand that it wasn't called the March on Washington. It was called the March for Freedom and Jobs. Like, we needed jobs. We wanted freedom, but what's freedom without having jobs? And if you go back and you look at history, you see how strong the union in that march and how people showed up. A. Philip Randolph was instrumental in organizing that event with 250,000 people without media. He definitely built some great relationships. able to bring out those people-based things that we all need. Where we show up not for our individual self, show up for the next person, because it might not be happening to you today, but what's happening when it doesn't show up for you, because it's happening to you. So I definitely encourage people to make sure that they're registered to vote. I encourage people in your community. Your problem today, it might be yours tomorrow. And I know when I'm going to show up for them every time. If anyone is interested in joining the Randolph Institute, we definitely we welcome newcomers. We can't have enough members. And do not have to be affiliated with a union to join. You just have to be a caring individual that wants to see some change and be a part of it. We meet every second Monday of the month. We meet at 313 South Jefferson. It's those that have been around for a while know it's the old 801 Union Hall, but it is IUE 84755 local as well. And I like to represent that. And I've been a strong union member for 23 years. And I tell people all the time that, if I had it to do again, I would sign up for the union every time. It's definitely been good and bad moves throughout the year, but I definitely can say it's more than it has been for the union and the union movement. Might be a little different. So
can you tell us what it is that you're fighting now? Why?
I was born here in Miami Valley Hospital in 1977. And we moved shortly after to out of town. And my parents divorced when I was 7, so back to date because my grandparents lived here and we needed family support. But I can remember as a little girl, I don't know if those of you that know, like Salem Avenue, the Trotman Studios, famous recipe was across the street. It was nothing to walk in and see somebody famous. It was, cared about their neighborhoods. And if you didn't care about it, the city was going to make you care about it. There was going to be, someone was going to give you a ticket for having chip paint on your garage, and you was going to take care of it. People took pride in it, and here we are. My son, I have a son and a grandson, a 1-year-old grandson, and I definitely, I want him. I want when I move back to Dayton, and see that in the city, and people were proud owners. The neighborhoods were booming. People were friendly. We knew each other. In my community, like my neighbors are feeling enough to have a conversation with me, or even to know who I am. We need to get back to those neighborhoods. Everybody knows everybody, and I feel like in order to do that, we need to spread the word. We need to make sure that people are registered. We are putting the right people in office, in our local office, as well as our state office, as well as our national offices, to make sure that they care about what happens to everyone else. It's not just a personal transaction, or it not being transactional. And so I guess one of my main reasons in the work is because I know that social media is happening and people are getting away from having but I feel like that very important that we, especially in an urban area, connect, have can come back to a sense of ownership in the homes being our homes and not where our neighbor, where all our neighbors are tenants of their landlord living hundreds and thousands of miles away, to where they don't care if the neighborhoods are tore up. They don't care about the crime in the area. My main passion is making sure this world is better for my son that is 25 years old, my grandson that's 1, and everyone else's little people, because they're losing touch with that personal touch. And it definitely is important to be able to have that conversation. And, having a text, doing a text versus giving someone a hug, like, how are you doing? Or do you need a hug? Or than a virtual one. And I want that in this net and not just virtually, and have those relationships and to make things better for us as a whole.
So what can we do the next 20 days, right?
About 20 days. Less than 3 weeks. Definitely. Canvas is set up. The Montgomery County ODP, they have canvases set up to do door knocking. If you have a candidate that you feel strongly about, definitely reach out to organizations like RFL-CIO, to IUE, to A. Philip Randolph. We can definitely utilize canvassers, phone banking, just to get the word out there, because there's a lot of candidates that people don't even know about. And as well as like, of course, the obvious, the vote. Did you vote? Early vote. I encourage early voting because we don't know what's going to happen on the day of, and so it kind of lets us know where we're at and how much harder we need to go as far as making sure everybody shows up at those polls and votes. And so that's definitely the beginning that we can start in the next less than 20 days before the election. Make sure that we vote. If you have extra time, connect with somebody about phone banking, connect with someone about canvassing. Tell your neighbor, make sure your neighbor is registered to vote. I stopped my mailman today and was like, are you registered to vote? And he definitely let me know that, unfortunately, a young guy, he wasn't registered. And I said, that's fine. I said, when you come by tomorrow, I definitely will have a registration form for the next election. So encourage people. And sometimes it takes more than one time to get somebody that's discouraged from voting, get them registered. And you have to hit them where it matters to them. You have to let them know, like, what can change. A lot of people don't know what certain public offices, what they do, and how important it is that they make the right decisions, or make decisions, like their decisions in general, and how they impact the community and yourself individually. So get the research. Definitely research your candidates. Every time I tell you, research your candidates. That's most of the research your candidates, and feel familiar with your candidates. It's like I'm a personal believer that I should inferior towards my candidates. As a young person, I did, and then I realized as I got older that you work for me. You're elected through me. If it wasn't me showing up for you, that you wouldn't be able to be in the position that you're in. And we need to come back to from state. From state. These elected people know that they don't answer, and powers and numbers, and the amount of numbers that are not registered to vote in Ohio, and I don't have an exact number, but it's a large number, and a large number, and the large number of Ohio that are important to us.
I was talking to someone the other day, and they said, well, we were able to do it in 2020. So you think we have a chance to stay?
And all the numbers, I definitely believe that if we, show out, if we make sure that every individual that you know is registered, and not individual needs to be registered for whether it be regardless of what they're voting for. Of course, again, and I like to say, like, we as a Phil Randolph are nonpartisan. However, we do know there are particular candidates that are going to work for us when you're talking about being discouraged from the legislative system.
Yeah. So true. Well, I'm thankful that you're here, and I'm thankful for the work that you're doing. And I just giving some encouragement to you that we appreciate it.
Yes, I definitely love, like I said, I definitely love the work that I do. It sometimes it's a thankless job at the moment, but it feels wonderful when you feel like you've made some strides. Our group, they are an amazing group. When I say it's quality that we have of people in our group now, they show up and they show out. Like every time we have something going on, we definitely need to grow our group, just because everyone's torn different ways. We have out there that A. Philip Randolph in Dayton, Ohio exists. It exists. They're here. We're here to stay. We definitely want to keep building with our community, with anyone that wants to be a part of it. It's a great organization that I'm happy to be a part of.
Good. So if you just give one last tidbit to those who are still on the fence about whether or not to vote on November 8th, what would you tell them?
Well, as I said earlier, that there was a time, and I say this, there was a time that we were not able to. It was only and they made the decisions based on us. If at least show up to vote because you can, and we need to let people know in numbers that we're paying attention, we're watching, and whether we like it or don't like it, we're here and we're registered. And like, the more people look at those numbers and they know how to handle, us based on those numbers, based on where people are voting. Not too many people show up in areas where people are not voting, and that speaks volumes. And so, like I said, if you don't like it, I get it, and being discouraged or feeling like that you feel hopeless in it. But if you don't show up, it's gonna sink that hopelessness even more.
I think that's all that needs to be said. Again, thank you for being here today. And I know I'm probably able to be said, but I'm going to scoot out a little bit. I'm thankful that you're here. Thank you so much for being here. And we're going to join.
Okay.
We're going to join. We're going to help. I think it's our duty to do that.
Definitely.
And until then, we'll keep fighting. 20 more days.
We got it.
20 more, 21, whatever.
Yeah.
We got this, y'all.
We got it.
Until next time on Testimonies Praise. God bless you.